For years, the world has known him simply as Tyrus, the larger-than-life Fox News personality with a booming laugh, razor-sharp one-liners, and an unmistakable presence. But recently, an unexpected public appearance sent fans into a frenzy. Cameras captured Tyrus stepping out beside a woman many didn't even realize was his wife, and the reaction was immediate. Who was she? Where had she come from? And why did their story feel so different from what people had assumed? Stay tuned. Born George Timothy Murdoch on February 21, 1973, in Boston, Tyrus entered a world defined by instability. His parents were barely more than children themselves, his mother just 15, his father 19. The home they built was rooted in fear rather than safety. Violence was constant. His father abused his mother, and before long, that abuse extended to Tyrus. One blow was so severe it caused permanent swelling in his eye. That injury became the moment his mother could no longer ignore, the breaking point that forced her to leave. Tyrus was the eldest child in what was then considered an illegal biracial marriage. The danger in the household escalated to terrifying extremes. In one horrific incident, his father attempted to throw him from a high-rise window. Escaping that environment, however, did not bring peace. When his mother returned to her family home, she was told she could stay, but her sons could not because their father was black. As a result, Tyrus and his brother were placed in foster care. That separation cut deeply. As a child, Tyrus became consumed by the belief that changing his skin color was the only way he would ever be allowed to return home. The weight of that thought never left him. Eventually, the brothers reunited with their mother in Los Angeles, where survival required relentless effort. She worked up to 80 hours a week, doing whatever she could to make ends meet. The family moved constantly, never staying anywhere long enough to feel rooted. Stability was always just out of reach. Violence soon re-entered his life through his stepfather. One brutal attack left Tyrus without his front teeth at just 13 years old. By 16, he had reached his limit. After fighting back one final time, he packed his belongings into a trash bag and walked away for good. He bounced between friends, coaches, and wherever he could find shelter. Some nights he slept hidden inside school locker rooms. He didn't ask for help. He endured. The one constant in his life was football. It became his anchor. The field gave him structure when nothing else did. It introduced him to mentors, discipline, and a sense of belonging. Football taught him that nothing was handed to you. Everything had to be earned. That lesson changed everything. The sport didn't just offer him a future, it gave him a way out, a purpose, and, amid the chaos, a reason to survive. After high school, Murdoch took the next step at Antelope Valley College in California. On the field, he was impossible to ignore. As an offensive lineman, he dominated, earned all conference honors, and developed a reputation for his size and raw physicality. His presence caught the attention of coaches from the University of Nebraska at Kearney, who invited him to participate in spring ball. Initially hesitant about attending a Division II program, his doubts disappeared once he arrived. The facilities rivaled those of larger schools, and the atmosphere felt right. What began as a backup plan became one of the most pivotal decisions of his life. Murdoch spent 2 seasons with the Lopers, anchoring an offensive line that averaged over 300 pounds per player. The 1994 team finished 8-3, with a hard-fought 13-12 victory over Nebraska-Omaha remaining one of his most vivid memories. Yet, the wins weren't what mattered most. It was the relationships. Coaches like Claire Boroff, Daryl Morris, and Scott Hoffman became true mentors, teaching him accountability, discipline, and the importance of keeping his word. For the first time, he felt shaped, not just trained. After college, Murdoch pursued his professional football dream, playing arena football and attending NFL tryouts, pushing himself as far as possible. At the same time, he made sure to finish what he started academically. In 1998, he earned his degree in physical education from UNC. Though he couldn't afford to attend his own graduation ceremony, pride prevented him from asking for help, even when it was available. When injuries brought his football career to an end, Murdoch shifted into survival mode. He worked as a substitute teacher by day and a nightclub bouncer by night. At one point, he even provided security as a bodyguard for Snoop Dogg. Then, in a moment that would change everything, he broke up a fight in a nightclub, not with chaos, but with control, humor, and an almost theatrical calm. A professional wrestler in the room took notice immediately. That moment opened the door to professional wrestling. In 2006, Murdoch debuted in WWE as Brodus Clay. In 2014, he joined Impact Wrestling and became Tyrus, the name that would define the next chapter of his career. From there, his life took an unexpected turn into media. What began as playful online exchanges with Greg Gutfeld evolved into an invitation to Fox News. By 2016, Tyrus had become a regular presence on Gutfeld, where his humor, grounded demeanor, and extraordinary life story made him a natural fit. Between 2018 and 2019, he even co-hosted UnPC. Just when it seemed his life had finally found stability, everything was about to change. The story then took a sudden and uncomfortable turn. In April 2019, viewers of Fox Nation's UNPC began noticing something strange. Tyrus quietly vanished from the show. No farewell, no explanation, no on-air acknowledgement. Tom Shillue stepped in alongside Britt McHenry, and at first, the silence suggested nothing more than a routine programming shift. But that calm didn't last. By June, reporting from the Daily Beast began filling in the gaps. According to the outlet, Tyrus's removal followed a formal complaint filed by McHenry herself. While he transitioned into hosting his own program, Nuff said, details of what was allegedly happening behind the scenes slowly emerged. Sources described a personal dispute between the CO hosts, one serious enough that Fox News chose separation over public confrontation. As was customary, the network declined to comment on internal matters. The situation escalated soon after. In June 2019, McHenry filed a lawsuit against Fox News, roughly 4 months after sources told the Daily Beast that Tyrus had allegedly sent her unwanted and unsolicited text messages during their time working together. McHenry claimed the messages were only part of the issue. According to her filing, after she rejected his advances, the workplace environment shifted almost immediately. She alleged hostility, exclusion, and escalating behavior that intensified over time. The lawsuit outlined an alleged pattern of messages sent between October and December 2018. McHenry claimed the text became increasingly explicit and aggressive, including threats to send graphic images. She further alleged that the behavior carried into the workplace, creating what she described as a volatile and unpredictable environment. Court documents painted a picture of sharp mood swings, angry outbursts, and repeated inappropriate communications, with the tone of the messages allegedly swinging from flirtatious to hostile in a matter of days. One incident stood out in particular. After a work-related dinner, McHenry claimed Tyrus drank heavily and behaved in an aggressive and overtly sexual manner toward her. Despite the seriousness of the allegations, Fox News commissioned 2 independent law firms to investigate. According to the network, neither investigation substantiated McHenry's claims. Both parties remained employed, but changes were made. McHenry was assigned a new co-host, while Tyrus was removed from UNPC and given his own interview-based series, one that frequently kept him away from Fox News studios. Eventually, the network released a formal statement, emphasizing that strict protocols had been followed, independent investigators were involved, and the matter was considered resolved. McHenry publicly pushed back. Shortly after the story broke, she posted on social media suggesting she had evidence to support her claims. The post was later deleted. Not long after the Daily Beast reported on the allegations and Tyrus's removal from UNPC, he reappeared on Fox News programming. He joined Dana Perino on the Daily Briefing, where the discussion focused on criminal justice reform and second chances for former prisoners. To some viewers, his comments about redemption and fresh starts felt pointed, even though the segment stayed firmly on topic. The appearance ended on a cordial note, highlighting charitable initiatives they supported together. Behind the scenes, however, the conflict continued to deepen. In October 2019, McHenry filed a confidential complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights against both Tyrus and Fox News. The network responded by standing firmly behind its prior investigations, calling the lawsuit a repetition of claims it had already addressed. Fox News stated it expected the case to be dismissed and reiterated its confidence in the independent legal reviews it had relied upon. McHenry's lawsuit challenged that narrative directly. She argued that Fox News's public claims of zero tolerance for harassment were misleading. According to her filing, after raising concerns multiple times, she was isolated, excluded from events, denied opportunities, and barred from appearing on Fox News Channel programs. In her words, the only zero tolerance shown was toward the woman who spoke up. The court filings also questioned the integrity of the investigation itself. McHenry alleged investigators faulted her for not producing certain text messages she claimed were fabricated and supported by altered images. She maintained those images were not hers and could be traced back to unrelated online sources. In December 2019, McHenry formally sued Fox News in federal court in Manhattan. The lawsuit named not only the network and senior executives but also George Murdoch, better known as Tyrus. She described the fallout as devastating, alleging her career was derailed, her reputation damaged, and her professional opportunities severely limited. While she claimed she was sidelined to the streaming platform, she alleged her former co-host was rewarded with his own show. Murdoch's legal team denied every allegation. His attorney stated that Tyrus intended to defend himself vigorously and accused the media of engaging in a smear campaign, signaling potential defamation counterclaims. Fox News echoed that defense, reiterating that the claims had already been investigated and reviewed by the New York State Division of Human Rights. the network said it fully expected the lawsuit to be dismissed. The case took another troubling turn when McHenry alleged the investigative process itself was compromised. She claimed an investigator made inappropriate comments about her appearance and suggested she had led Murdoch on. Murdoch's attorney dismissed those claims as well, stating his client welcomed a public court proceeding to clear his name. In July 2021, the legal battle came to an end. Fox News settled the lawsuit with McHenry. While the terms were not disclosed, the network stated it remained confident it would have prevailed but chose to resolve the matter without further litigation. Murdoch's attorney emphasized that the claims were dismissed with prejudice and that Tyrus made no financial payment, reiterating his denial of all allegations. In her own statement, McHenry said she was proud of standing up for herself and hoped her actions empowered other women. While maintaining the truth of her claims, she said she was ready to move forward. Reports indicated the settlement required her departure from Fox News and Fox Nation, though she continued working as an analyst at Fox 5 in Washington, D.C. As the legal drama faded from headlines, a different story quietly unfolded. In January 2024, Tyrus married his longtime partner, Ingrid Rink Herbert. Though he often speaks publicly about discipline and fitness, those close to him say Ingrid has long been his true anchor. Their relationship began quietly in the fall of 2014, during an ordinary moment on the streets of New Jersey. No spotlight, no spectacle, just casual coffee dates that gradually grew into something lasting. Over the years, their lives blended so seamlessly that friends and family often assumed they were already married. The couple rarely corrected anyone, choosing instead to move at their own pace. Titles mattered far less than the life they were building together. That philosophy didn't change when the world did. In April 2020, amid widespread uncertainty, Murdoch proposed in a private, intimate moment. The engagement ring, a deep green emerald, reflected their relationship perfectly, chosen for individuality rather than tradition. They stayed engaged longer than most, intentionally focusing on planning a future rather than rushing toward a ceremony. That vision eventually led them north, toward open land and a slower pace of life in northern New Jersey. On January 6, 2024, they were married in a moment that was meaningful yet understated, less a dramatic turning point and more a natural continuation. By spring, they took on their biggest project yet, settling into a farm property in northern New Jersey. The move wasn't about space or scenery alone. It was the physical realization of years of shared planning, patience, and intention. Behind that new life is Ingrid Murdoch's own remarkable journey. Her passion for health began in her teens and evolved into a 25-year career as a personal trainer. She later founded the Rink Routine and Sensible Meals, businesses rooted in her belief that daily habits shape long-term outcomes. Her commitment to wellness is deeply personal. Ingrid lost 150 pounds through consistent nutrition and exercise, and her approach shifted further when her son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Preparing portion-controlled meals for him eventually turned into a thriving business as friends began asking for the same support. As a CEO, Ingrid has openly acknowledged learning as she went, driven more by passion than polish in the early days. Her goal has always been simple: to show her children that determination can open doors, even without perfect conditions. At home, the Murdochs manage a full household. Ingrid's son, Rhett, is part of the mix, along with at least 2 children Murdoch has from a previous relationship. The family dynamic is busy, loud, and anything but ordinary, especially since their home doubles as what they jokingly call the Tyrus-Zilla Zoo. The property houses a collection of exotic animals, including fish, turtles, snakes, lizards, and chameleons. Murdoch has spoken openly about how much joy the animals bring him, even crediting them with improving his mental health. What surprises many is that Ingrid never considered herself an animal lover. She once admitted she didn't enjoy animals or reptiles at all. Still, she stepped in when structure was needed, transforming chaos into order. She streamlined schedules, assigned responsibilities, and even learned new techniques online, including piping in storm sounds to encourage breeding. While she jokes that she delegates rather than handles the physical labor herself, the system works. Their daughter Georgie focuses on bonding with the animals. Rhett handles the heavier, messier work. His girlfriend Julia keeps the enclosures clean and organized. Ingrid oversees it all, unapologetically running the zoo like a manager who expects results. Murdoch has said the transformation was remarkable, that having Ingrid take control brought calm, balance, and stability into his life. Their marriage, however, has not been without challenges. Alongside personal milestones, they've endured intense public scrutiny. In December 2022, Ingrid hinted at the emotional toll of the legal battles in a social media post, describing the year as deeply traumatic, while praising her husband for stepping up as a stronger leader at home. She shared how he encouraged her to slow down, spend time with their daughter, and find space to heal. The message ended with gratitude for rest, family, and quiet moments away from the noise. It was a rare glimpse into how they weathered the storm